Hello and welcome to my tutorial about integrating biology and TRIZ for innovative design. You will learn about systematic method for invention using biology. In this tutorial, you will find the answers to the following questions. Why biomimetics is the future of engineering? Biomimetics is a science which takes ideas from biology and implement these ideas in technology. So why biology is the source of ideas for engineering? What can you get from biomimetic approach here and now? Also, any process of invention should be systematic. So biomimetic engineering should be considered a systematic inventive process, and you will learn how to do this. Merging biology with technology is the mainstream of innovation, especially nowadays. How to make biomimetic projects, how to make transferring ideas from biology to technology commercially possible, how to make it attractive for industry. To be commercially possible, this means that it should be practical, affordable, and doable. To be practical, it should possess the methods and procedures of how to do this, how to take ideas from biology and implement in technology. Also, we need things much better than biology. We need to take all the advantages from technological system and merge these advantages with advantages of biological systems. So it should be sort of win-win effect of combination of biology and technology. Affordable. Biomimetic design should be affordable. Currently, every biomimetic project starts from scratch, starts from research and development, which is awfully expensive. But a lot of knowledge is available in biology. So we need the tools, we need methods of translation from biology to technology to use current knowledge database of biology. Also, biomimetic projects should be doable, should guarantee their success due to solid methods and procedures. Doable means also repeatable. How to do this? How to make biology attractive for industry? By the way, why biology? Why do you think biology is a source of ideas for technology? Why do we want these ideas? Can you think of a pump that operates 70, maybe 200 years without spare parts, repair, silently 24 hours a day? Obviously, this is our heart. Yeah, definitely, this is heart. You all know this. But can you think of another pump that operates up to 600 to 1,000 years with the same features? Can you think about this pump? You can see this pump all around you. You obviously know these pumps. These are trees, obviously. Can you imagine that one average tree lifts up 200 liters per day, 200 liters water per day, from the ground to the air? Imagine how tired you would be if you lift every day all your life 20 times a day a bucket of 10 liters of water to the 5th floor. Oh, that's a job for tree, and tree does it for the whole tree's life. And you may ask that the tree uses physical laws. Yes, it does. It uses capillary forces. But you also know that any capillary column will break on the height of 1 meter. But trees are much higher than 1 meter, tenths of meters. So why? What's going on? what physical laws are included in this process. In fact, trees use two forces, pushing and pulling. Evaporation is pulling process, and pushing, the capillary forces are pushing as well. So it's not passively, a tree doesn't use physics passively, it uses physics actively. It's active process. Biology is full of examples of solutions, ideal solutions. You all know TRIZ, theory of inventive problem solving, and you also remember that the ideal final result concept is the central point of theory of inventive problem solving. Biology is full of examples of self-functioning. For example, have a look at this plant, orchids. You know it very well. But it grows on the trees, and it doesn't have access, very often it doesn't have access to the soil. And it creates these conditions under which the soil appears itself right exactly at the point where it is needed, around the roots. Have a look at the root system. They create a network which catches the debris which are falling from the tree, and you see that all debris and water are getting around these roots, creating the soil itself. Have a look at this nice liana. This liana is an absolutely amazing example of self-functioning. It also lives on the trees and doesn't have access to nutrition from the soil. So this plant needs to create its own flower pot. It is made of two leaves folded together to keep the water and debris inside. And the stem root goes inside. You can see here, root goes inside this flower pot and gets water and nutrition. And have a look, inside it is dark to create the right conditions for the roots. But outside it's still the leaf, which provides the photosynthesis. So all functions of the leaf are saved. So isn't it a great example of self-functioning, ideal result? So why biology? Now I would like to describe our discovery. This is a comparison of how living nature solves the problems and how our technology solves the problems. Have a look here. On the upper graph, we've got the technological way of problem solving. On the lower graph, we've got the way living nature resolves similar problems. For the same type of problem, we've got two different strategies of its resolution. In technology, we use a lot of energy. There is a saying that contemporary engineering is hit, beat and treat. We use a lot of energy. Well, have a look in biology. Energy is very expensive and is rarely used. We create lots of substances, new materials. It's our mainstream at the moment. But in biology, have a look. Not a lot of substances. We all are made from the same substance. And that's why we don't have the problem of recycling and problem of waste. We are creating lots of substances, and at the same time we are creating lots of wastes. But the same properties which we prescribe and provide with substances, biology provides with structures. So biology creates lots of structures. We do not use structures so much as biology. So you see, that's the main difference. And the most amazing stuff is that similarity between how nature solves problems and how technology solves problems is only 12%. This means that 88% of unknown solutions are to be discovered. So if we implement this 80% totally unknown solutions, we'll get lots of novelty for future technology. So it's a lot of potential there. So biology is a treasure. It's a treasure chest for engineering. You just need to open this treasure chest and get access to this knowledge. So why do you need access to this knowledge? Why ideas from life are so tempting to borrow? First of all, it's prevention of system failures. Life solves problems before they occur. Easy recycling. Technology uses more than 300 polymers. Now it's maybe even more. While life only 2 polymers, proteins and polysaccharides. And that's it, for the same properties as we achieve with technology, and even superior properties sometimes. Energy and cost reduction. Life is 4 times more efficient and effective than current technology. Operation with resources is unique. Life turns any harm into the resource. Now we are going to investigate each of these 4 main advantages of using biology in technology deeper with more details. I would like to introduce you 50 laws of living nature for technology. What is law in biology? Biology is pretty much empirical science, and if you type in Google laws of biology, you will find that laws of biology are not a lot of them, and they are very much descriptive. They just describe the phenomena. But for engineering use, we don't need descriptive way of presentation of the law. We need prescriptive. So we need to understand that something does something to affect other thing under certain conditions. So we need to know the conditions under which one thing acts in a precise way. So this is not descriptive, this is prescriptive way of introducing the law in biology. And obviously there are no prescriptive laws in biology at all, because biology is not ripe enough to be the part of engineering process. And we asked ourselves, what can we do to make biology available and ripe enough for engineering? And we thought, okay, in engineering, in TRIZ, theory of inventive problem solving, which has the origin in pure engineering, there are 40 inventive principles. Can we find these 40 inventive principles in living nature? Yes, indeed. We found all these 40 inventive principles. But moreover, we found 10 more laws of living nature that can be also regarded as specific biological inventive principles. And we reformulated biological laws in the way they can be adapted by engineering. So what we are going to do now is to look at some of these 50 laws. Obviously, we don't have time for all 50, but some of the laws you will see now. Prevention of system failure. Life solves problems before they occur. Yes, indeed. Life uses the at least 4 laws to support this statement. Law number 8, compensation of unwanted. If the failure is unavoidable, compensated. Law number 9, counteraction in advance. Be prepared to eliminate failure in case it happens. Law number 10, anticipation. Failure may be avoided if events are prearranged in advance. Law number 11, planning the emergency. Be prepared to mitigate failure in case it happens. Let's have a look at these laws in more details. Law number 8, compensation of unwanted. If the failure is unaffordable, compensate it. Fantastic. So these are 2 examples of such compensation. Focus. This is algae, it's seaweed. It grows under the water and therefore it needs to stay in upright position to get more oxygen. And it develops the mechanism of keeping in upright position. It contains the small chambers filled with air, and air keeps the whole plant in upright position. This flower is pond flower. It requires to be on the surface of the water all the time because you see it blooms. It requires to be on the surface, and it has also the chambers. Leaves are doing this job. They create the chambers and trap the air, and this air provides the flotation. Law number 9, counteraction in advance. Be prepared to eliminate failure in case it happens. Have a look at the hedgehog. Its needles prevent the hedgehog from damage when it falls from some high trees or high bushes. And also, due to these needles, it's quite difficult to damage the hedgehog when hedgehog protects itself with the needles. Law number 10, anticipation. Failure may be avoided if events are prearranged in advance. This banana leaf is pre-cut in advance, so when it's high wind load on the leaf, wouldn't break it completely. It will just come through these pre-cut gaps, and the leaf will be safe. Law number 11, planning the emergency. Be prepared to mitigate failure in case it happens. This is ordinary cat's paw. Most of mammals have these cushions when they jump to shock absorb, and these cushions work like shock absorber. Now let's talk about recycling. I already mentioned that technology uses more than 300 polymers, while life uses only 2. We all are made of proteins and polysaccharides. And this is the law number 33, Mowgli law. We be one blood, thou and I. This is the quotation from poem of Kipling. You probably all remember the Mowgli story. We can call this law of similarity as well. Law number 22. Eternity of the whole is achieved through the mortality of its parts. The law of plant obsolescence. Make it cheap and disposable. The next law is the law number 34, law of phoenix bird, getting more by discarding. Discard, recover, regenerate, rethink, reuse it. Let's have a look at these laws in deeper details. Law number 33, Mowgli law, the law of similarity. As I mentioned, we all are made from only two polymers, proteins and polysaccharides. This makes us totally edible and totally recyclable. But it can be, we can have a look at this from another angle. Some creatures make the shelters from the natural materials. Using natural materials in our products make them totally recyclable. For example, this larva of Trichoptera, this insect is called caddisflies. They use natural substances to create a shelter. The actual larva is here, and this is the shelter it creates around. Law number 22. Eternity of the whole is achieved through the mortality of its parts. This great example of this law is our skin. Our skin regenerates every moment. We've got lots of dead cells on the surface of our hands, but they discard it and new cells appear and old cells discard and so on. This is a permanent process. So the lifespan of our hands, of our body, is much longer than the lifespan of the cells we are built of. Similar to this, we've got the ants. Ants are little creatures which belong to the large colonies. Each ant lives 2-3 years, but the whole colony can live up to 600 years. So the people are coming and go, and the organization is still flourishing. Law number 34, law of phoenix bird, getting more by discarding. Discard, recover, regenerate, rethink, reuse it. The best example for this law is the leaves of the tree. They hatch in the spring, they flourish in summer, and then they got discarded in autumn, and they regenerate again in spring. Energy and cost reduction. This is a very important point of advantage of living nature. Life is more efficient than current technology due to at least 3 laws. Law number 12, law of minimum efforts, make things equally possible. Law number 37, ultimate laziness, let natural forces and laws do the job for you. Law number 20, ultimate pleasure, let the good things roll, do not stop. Do not stop the process which is important. You see how nice are these 3 laws? Laws of minimum effort, ultimate laziness, and ultimate pleasure. Isn't it lovely to implement in our technology? And these laws allow us to reduce energy and costs. Law of minimum efforts. Can you think of climbing the mountain without any effort? Mountain goat can do this. They never climb it directly. They travel on the they create paths and travel nearly horizontally and little by little coming upwards. So they do not spend energy at all. They just walk on nearly horizontal surface. Giraffes never feed on the grass, they feed on the trees because it's much more convenient. It's on the same level. They do not spend any energy to lift to bend the neck or lift it too high. They find the right level. We also use the same principle of equipotentiality. You probably recognize this principle of equipotentiality. We can run smoothly to the train due to the train platform. We don't need to climb the stairs. So that's the manifestation of the law of minimum efforts or equal opportunities as well. Law number 37, ultimate laziness, or use of natural forces and laws. Implementation of this law in management is most exciting, I would say, because it's literally applicable to organizational process in organization. You can read the examples of it in our book Biomimetic Management. But also this ultimate laziness law works for the structures which look like not so clever structures. For example, the pine cone. Pine cone looks like this when it's wet. When it's dry, it opens, closes and opens. When it's dry, it opens and releases the seeds. When it's wet, just closes. Law number 20, ultimate pleasure, non-stop action. These lovely beetles, called dung beetles, they need to transport a lot of food for their lovers, for the kids, but the food is huge, the amount of food is huge, and ideally it should be transported by itself. It should roll. And to provide this rolling effect, they create in the ball from the dung and achieve this non-stop ultimate positive effect. Operation with resources is very tempting to borrow from living nature. It is provided by two laws. Law number 22, yin-yang transformation. Anything is a resource and at the same time is harm, depending on 5 conditions. Law number 31, adding nothing may change everything. Wholes cost and weight nothing but change a lot. Let's have a look at these laws in more details. Let's start from law number 31. Adding nothing may change everything. Wholes cost and weight nothing but change a lot. First of all, its best example is the bone. Our bones are full of holes, and holes of different sizes. Different size of holes create a gradient of properties to bear the load in different directions. So holes create the inner structure of the bone first. They provide the different properties of the bone in different directions, but also they make the bones much lighter. Now, the law number 22, yin-yang transformation. Everything is a resource, and at the same time is the harm, depending on the 5 conditions. So what are these 5 conditions? Anything can be resource if it is in the right place, at the right time, in the right dose, in the right mode, and for the right user. Can you think about the water? Water is in the right place. Of course, if it's in the glass or in the cup, it's the right place for water. But if it's spilled on the floor, it's not the right place of water to be. It's not a resource for you to drink. At the right time, water should be at the right time when you are thirsty. If you are not thirsty, you don't need it. In the right dose, obviously if it's in the glass or in the cup, it's okay, it's right dose. But if you've got the flood, it's certainly not the right dose. It's even not the right place. Okay, in the right mode. Sure, sometimes we like hot drinks, sometimes we like cold drinks. So the mode of the water is important for us. For the right user, some people need the water, some people do not need the water. For example, in some conditions, after some operations, patients can't drink water. They shouldn't drink water. So if they drink water, they can die. So it depends on the right user. So what is the harm? Harm, pollution, waste, loss, damage. Any resource, if just one condition is violated, such as being in the wrong place and or at the wrong time and or in the wrong dose and or in the wrong mode and or for the wrong user, even if just one condition is violated, any resource immediately turns into the pollution or harm. Let's give an example for this. Imagine you've got the garden with fruit trees, and quite long time you didn't have the rain. Fruit trees need the water, and you are waiting for the rain. So this is the right place for the rain. Yes, it's the right place for the rain. And this is definitely right time, because you see the cloud is coming and bringing the rain. Fantastic, that's the right time. It's possibly even the right dose, because it looks like it will be heavy rain. And definitely the right user. Trees need some water. But suddenly, instead of rain, you've got the hail. These ice, small ice drops from the dark cloud. And hail destroys the whole orchard. The hail destroys the plants. It's no use for plants. It destroys them. So just one condition was violated, the mode of this water. And it turns into the pollution, turns into damage. So we've got at least 3 corollaries out of this very important law. Turning harm into benefit requires 5 compulsory conditions. Turning good things into disaster requires just one condition to be present. It's much easier to destroy something than to create. And you can use this law yin-yang transformation in 5 compulsory conditions for any problem solving. Just that this is a tool for you to use immediately. If you've got something which is harmful, you've got some property which is harmful, or you want to eliminate something, change one of these 5 conditions. If something in the wrong place, if it's in the wrong place, try to find the right one. If it's in the wrong time, try to find the right time for this property or event or harm. If it's on the wrong dose, vary the dose. If it's in the wrong mode, try to change the mode, or maybe you can change the user. So this is actually a very powerful problem-solving tool which is derived from living nature. So what biology can give to industry? Following natural laws makes our products easy recyclable, user-friendly, cost-efficient. Following natural laws helps companies to predict new products and new markets, maintain efficiency of professional management, achieve efficient resources and waste management. Taking ideas from living nature can be done in 2 ways, in 2 cases basically. You may have just an idea of creating something new, just thinking of creative process or inventive process. And you can use 50 laws of living nature and modify existing things or create something new. Another case is when you've got precise challenge in the problem solving. Common methods are not useful anymore, so you need to find completely novel solutions for existing problem. BioTRIZ translation procedures will be useful for you in this case. So if you've got the question with open answer, use 50 laws of living nature. If you've got the question which requires precise answer, use the problem-solving tools, BioTRIZ translation procedures. Let's talk about the systematic method of using biology and technology. First of all, we can think of inspiration. To be inspired, there is a special term, bio-inspired design. So, what's the use of inspiration? Obviously, inspiration is a very important part of any activity, but would you trust the surgeon which is doing the operation only when he is inspired? Or would you go to such a doctor? Would you trust the pilot who is piloting the plane only when he is inspired? Or when his work is based on inspiration rather than deep knowledge? Obviously not. You need taking biomimetic design seriously. You should rely not on inspiration, but on deep knowledge and information. Copying from living nature, it's good, sounds good strategy, but it's terribly expensive and normally absolutely useless because natural phenomena is so complex that copy it literally, it's impossible. Obviously, you will get results much worse than original, and what's the point? Because the main aim of biomimetic design is to create something which is better than living nature and better than technology, current technology. You need win-win solution. Functional approach. That's the first approach which was used by American company called biomimicry. They start with functional approach, which looked at that time not bad at all, especially as form fits function. This assumption is very common in engineering, but it's not true I would say it's not very true for biology, simply because any biological structure is terribly multifunctional. How many functions my hand performs? I can write, I can sign, I can hold something. A lot of functions. I can perform numerous functions with my hand. What functions do you need for your artificial hand design? So functional approach can lead to irrelevant solutions, misinterpretation of functionality. It's not efficient, therefore. We need interpretation and we need procedures how to get the ideas from living nature. Here is the good example of misinterpretation of functionality. What's the function of the horns of a goat? Can you think of the functions of the horns of goats? Obviously, first idea is just to fighting function, protection for fighting, for keeping the hierarchy. Yeah, let's have a look at this lovely implementation of the functionality. So the way this goat is using its horn is obviously just scratching the distant parts of the body because it's convenient, that's it. So I guess it could use this horn for any other functions. But actually, what is the function of the horns? Have a look at this goat. Where is it? It's very high. What are the conditions? What's the environment around? The environment around is contains not enough oxygen because it's high in the mountain. And it means that this goat needs additional bone marrow because it is hemopoietic organ. In the mountains there is not enough oxygen and more red blood cells are needed. That's why the horn inside contains this bone marrow. So the same structure can be used for different functions. So you see, common methods to get ideas from living nature do not work reliably and may cause more problems. So inspiration is good, but we need knowledge. Copying may be good, but it's expensive. Functional approach may cause misinterpretation, not reliable. So what do we need? We need interpretation. As interpreter, an interpreter is the missing link in the process of biomimetic design. First, we need to ask the right question, and then we need to understand the answer. Only in this case, our dialogue with living nature will yield some positive results. So, we need interpretation from technology to biology to be able to ask the right question. And then we need to interpret biology to technology to understand the answer. So the interpreter is needed twice. And when we talk to our colleagues from different companies, different universities and teams which do biomimetic projects and ask how many biologists are involved in this design, they usually say, none, we just ask the friend. or we just use the books and we just read the articles and so on, which is understandable why they avoid biologists, because they talk different languages. Biologists talk language descriptive, and engineers need prescriptive information. They do not understand each other. That's why engineers try to avoid biologists in teams. Simply, if we have the translator, it could provide the collaboration and cooperation of these two partners in biomimetic projects. So let's see what we can do. Now Nikolai will tell you the story about interpretation and how it can be done.
So how to translate and especially how to interpret? Let us try to interpret the expression white crow. What is it, white crow? I have this animal in this box, white crow. Let us have a look. What's inside? What animal is it? You see, it's not a crow at all. It is black sheep. And actually black sheep is not a sheep at all. It is just the indication of some person who is totally different from all others. And in other languages, this expression can be sufficiently different. So, in Russian language, black sheep means white crow, and white crow means black sheep. So, in some other languages, we have also different expressions. For example, in Korean language, it sounds like blue frog. Blue frog is also some creature which is very rare, very bizarre, and totally different from other frogs.
So you see that black sheep in technology may equal white crow in biology. So we mentioned that translation is needed from biology to technology. What's needed for translation actually? To understand the foreign text, we need first dictionary. But if I ask you, give me the dictionary of Chinese language, will I be able to speak Chinese? No way. I wouldn't be able to speak Chinese, even if I have dictionary. By the way, people keep asking us about databases of biological effects. This is the dictionary. Given a database, dictionary is a database. Given a database of biological effects will make you biologist. No way. You wouldn't be able to do anything with this dictionary. Just similar to the situation with Chinese language. You obviously need grammar. You need the rule how to put the words together. But even grammar is not enough. You need the context, understanding the context. When we first came to UK, we knew English pretty well, and we started reading newspapers and couldn't understand what's going on. We could understand words, we could understand sentences, we could understand everything, single word, but we couldn't get the meaning because we didn't have total cultural inclusiveness. And all these four requirements are fulfilled in laws of biology. laws of biology giving you dictionary, giving you grammar, giving you context, and giving you cultural inclusiveness. But these laws should be prescriptive. Currently in biology, law is already mentioned. So we need absolutely different types of laws for biomimetic design. This is a brief example, brief picture of how translation is happening. First, we need to translate technological requirements into biological language. We define the problem, we state what we really want to achieve, and we describe the context under which the device is operating, our biomimetic device will operate. And we are looking for similar challenges, similar solutions, and similar contexts in living nature. And we are creating our own small database of biological effects, custom-based biological effects. And that's what we do actually for industry. When they've got the challenge, they are coming to us, and we are creating the small custom database of biological effects that they will need for their challenge. Next step is to choose the right prototype, or maybe combination of different prototypes, and interpret from biology into technology to implement biological solutions by technological means. So here we will come up with contradictions, because biology is too complex to implement in technology. So we will come up with the sequences of contradictions. We resolve these contradictions using BioTRIZ matrix of contradictions. And finally, we will get the solution here and revise it. So this is the whole process of BioTRIZ translation procedure. So what to translate? What's the answer to the question what to translate? Function may be misinterpreted. Form may have side effects. Structure may be too complex and expensive. Property may be too difficult to implement by engineering means. Behavior. We need to translate, we need to borrow and interpret the behavior of biological system and provide the same behavior for technological system. But behavior can be done by different means, but the behavior should be the same. We asked the question, what kind of behavior? And we finally got the answer. Adaptation is the change within an effect in biology. And the behavioral adaptation is what we really need, what we really want. We don't care about evolutionary adaptations because it takes hundreds, thousands of years. We don't have time in engineering. We need here and now immediately. So behavioral adaptation are analogous to invention in technology. So adaptation equals invention. So we borrow ideas how living nature invent and learn from living nature how to invent. In our book Inventor's Manual, we describe the inventive process in 7 steps. Basically, this is TRIZ, algorithm for inventive problem solving, but it is put in a modular way, and each module can be compared with living systems. So we are coming through the whole process of invention, one by one, stage one by one, and asking the following question. First, we need to define the problem. And after the definition of the problem, we should ask ourselves, are there any solutions available? If not, why and how biology can help? Why are you asking this for biology? Help from biology. What is that so attractive in biology for your challenge? Ideal final result. When ideal final result is formulated precisely, for example, someone wanted function disappears itself, or some desired function appears itself. We are looking for similar ideal final results in living nature. The third stage, context definition. We need to understand where this biomimetic device will be operating, in what surroundings, and in what context. And we are looking for the same context in biology. Resources. Resources are properties. They are properties of objects that are operating within the context. Right, we are looking for the same properties in biology. And after this, we need to implement these ideas from biology to technology. We ask, what stops us of getting the same conditions, same properties, and same functions? And after resolving the contradictions, we've got solutions which we can revise later. So that's the basic idea of translation from technology to biology and from biology to technology. All the stages are in details explained in Inventor's Manual, which is published in English, French, Spanish, and Bulgarian at the moment. We are preparing Greek edition, and hopefully soon will be Chinese edition as well. So, full list of 50 laws of living nature and their application for biomimetic design you can find in our books. Laws of information management are available in the book Biomimetic Design or Biomimetic Management, and laws of biology for design and engineering are coming soon, and the book will be called Biomimetic Design 50 Laws of Nature. Also, I would like to pay attention on the card game which we developed specially for European Space Agency to help astronauts in their long duration missions to Mars and Moon. The challenge is that the challenge was to keep astronauts well prepared for inventive thinking process. Currently, their life is so structured and so procedure-based that it prevents switching their mind from procedure-based mode to creative mode. But naturally, they're all creative and inventive people because they all have 2-3 high education. They're all test pilots. They're the best people in the world, chosen specially for these difficult missions, but simply to keep their mind in fresh inventive mode, this card game was invented and can be used for workshops, in business coaching, for ice breaking and team building. Also, you can use it as a family game. We've got 5 games to suggest. Join us on the Facebook to get more ideas for games. And also, if you are in USA, you can get this from this site. You can get the game from this site. Thank you, and welcome to work with us. We can do biomimetic product design surgery via Skype. This is online consultancy. We're doing the workshops for companies and for universities. and also guest lectures if you like. So thank you very much for coming to my tutorial, and look forward to hear your feedback